How's it going, ACC? I'm Angie, your children's minister, with the Kidszone lesson for April 26th. Last week, we went back to the Gospel Project and learned about God bringing his people back to Jerusalem from Babylon. They started building God's temple, which was kind of like their church. And this week, we're going to learn about the temple being completed. For our beginning activity, we're going to play a game called Find the Scroll. Get a piece of paper, any piece of paper, and roll it up like a scroll. Tie it with some string, then take turns hiding it in your house. Whoever finds it gets a special treat, and you can play this game all week long. A scroll plays a very important part in our story today. And speaking of our story, our lesson comes from Ezra, chapters 4, 5, and 6. God's people were rebuilding the temple, but their enemies did not want them to, so God's people stopped. God sent two prophets, Haggai and Zechariah, to talk to the people. Haggai and Zechariah said, "Keep building, God is with you." So God's people started to work on the temple again. A man named Tattenai, a helper of the Persian king, watched over the land that included Judah. He sent a letter to the king to make sure that the people were allowed to build the temple. An old scroll was found, and it said, "Let God's people rebuild the temple." The king told Tattenai to give the people anything they needed. Anyone who tries to stop them from building the temple would be punished. God's people kept building, and soon the temple was finished. What a happy time! The people celebrated. God's people rebuilt the temple so they would have a place to worship God. And that leads us right into our activity. I have two different activities for you again this week. The first one is super simple, but so much fun. You're going to have a giant celebration like the Israelites did when the temple was finished. Make and wear party hats. Play instruments. Make special treats like cupcakes. Play some worship music, or come up with your own ideas to have a big celebration. Our second activity is a game called Build It Bigger. Form two teams, and remember, a team can be just one person depending on your family. Find some building materials in your house. Blocks, cards, marshmallows and toothpicks, Play-Doh. Use your imagination. Both teams are going to build the tallest and sturdiest building they can for 5 to 10 minutes. Then comes the fun part. See what it takes to knock your buildings down. Vote to see which one was strongest. And that team gets a prize. And remember, a prize can be anything, like who gets to pick the movie tonight, a little extra screen time, some candy, whatever you want to be a prize. Story of the Week card. Our game is a race. Get 5 of something in your house for each family member. Put these 5 items at one end of the room and a bin at the other end. On go, everyone has to get their 5 items, one at a time, to the bin. Whoever gets them all there first wins. At dinner one night, talk about how you think the Israelites felt when they completed the temple. Also, think about how excited we are going to be when we get to come back to church. It's going to happen. We just have to have patience and faith. Then for the family activity, we're all going to sit down and write some letters. Write a letter to your grandparent, your classmate from school, your friend from church, anyone you miss right now. I know that you're all hurting for some of these people, so let's brighten their day with a nice letter or a drawing from you. Be sure that you're praying every single day with your family. Parents, you can join us at 9 p.m. every night for ACC's Facebook Live prayer time too. And that's it for this week, guys. Next week, we'll talk about Esther, one of my favorite women in the Bible. And remember those special projects I talked about last week? Well, stay tuned because I will be seeing you soon. Have a great day, everybody.